We'll see a little bit later on in the. It was Aaron Rodgers returning for a 21st season, but his first with Pittsburgh. Rodgers was elected a captain alongside teammates Cameron Hayward and Miles Killebrew and TJ Watt. All three have been captains for each of the past 3 seasons. Rodgers, meanwhile, is the only offensive player to earn the honor. He'll look to lead the Steelers to their first playoff win since 2016. Mike Tomlin, his head coach, spoke about Rodgers being named captain. It's new on SportsCenter.
I don't think anybody's surprised by that, not only because of his resume and experience, but what he's displayed since he's been here in terms of being a great team guy and communicating and leading and sharing his experience and the lens through which he sees the game with others. It's just been a good process, and so I don't think that was earth-shattering in any way within our collective.
Do you have a sense for what this game means for Aaron to start out going back into MetLife and playing his old team?
You know, I don't, because he's just been doing it so long. I'm sure he's capable of compartmentalizing that. If it means anything to him more than a normal game, he probably wouldn't tell you. And so, you know, we're going to go play football.
He said he's not going to tell her. We just heard her, and she joins us now. Steelers reporter Brooke Pryor is here for more. So, Brooke, what can you tell us about Aaron Rodgers' imprint on his new team and what he's looking for out of this offense?
Well, TJ Watt echoed what Coach Mike Tomlin said today, that Aaron Rodgers has been really good since he got in the building at relating to the other players. Doesn't matter if they're other offensive players on the defense or special teams, that he's just been good at getting to know these guys and being around them. Watt said that he's been a really great locker room presence and he's made himself available to field questions from all of the guys. One thing that stuck out to me throughout this process since he got to Pittsburgh in minicamp is that he's been stretching with different guys and getting to know them. And I asked him, why are you so curious about your teammates? What drives you to get to know them? And he busted out a Ted Lasso line. He said, be curious, not judgmental. That's why he's wanted to get to know people, because it helps him learn, relate to them. And it helps, you know, if you have to yell at a guy or have some harsh words with him during the season, you've built up this connection and relationship with them off the field.
I love this version of Aaron Rodgers. Okay, on the defensive side, the team could be without a key contributor in Cam Hayward as we approach Sunday's matchup against the Jets. What more do you know?
Well, Mike Tomlin said he expects to see Cam Hayward on Sunday, that he thinks Cam is chomping at the bit to play, but Hayward did not sound so sure on his latest podcast episode, where he said, we'll see, when his podcast co-host Hayden Walsh asked if he would play on Sunday. That's because Hayward has been in the middle of a contract dispute with the Steelers. He's seeking additional compensation for the 2025 season. He believes that after earning another Pro Bowl nod, that he should be compensated up there with some of the top guys at this position. He had a hold-in early or late in training camp last month, and then he came back to practice on August 19th and has participated in team periods and individual periods. But it still kind of remains to be seen if he'll be on the field in week 1. Of course, Mike Tomlin said that's what he expects, but Cam Hayward has not talked to the media since August 11th, so hopefully we get some answers this week. But we do know the Steelers will be without one defensive lineman in rookie Derek Harmon, who sustained an MCL sprain in that last preseason game. So he is out. Cam Hayward, well, we'll see.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that situation. Brooke, I am so sorry about your Tar Heels last night, by the way. Thank you.
All right, Steelers Nation, gather round, because this one's big. This isn't just any story. This is about the new era of Pittsburgh Steelers football, the Aaron Rodgers era, and how it's already shaking up the locker room, the field, and even the energy inside the entire city. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Wire, the place where we keep it real, raw, and passionate about the black and gold. If you're not already subscribed, hit that button right now, because trust me, this season is going to be a ride. Now let's dive in. Aaron Rodgers, yes, the future Hall of Famer, the 4-time MVP, the man who has been through it all in Green Bay and then had his short-lived, heartbreaking stint with the Jets, is now officially a captain of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let that sink in. A guy who has been in this building for just a few months has already been embraced by his teammates and trusted with that responsibility. Think about how powerful that is. He joins Cameron Hayward, Miles Killebrew, and TJ Watt, the same defensive captains who have been carrying that leadership torch for years. But Rodgers? He's the only offensive player who earned that title. That tells you everything you need to know. The respect is real. The impact is already being felt. Mike Tomlin, in classic Tomlin fashion, downplayed the surprise. He basically said, yeah, no one in this building is shocked. And honestly, why would they be? Rodgers walked in here with a resume that speaks for itself, but he didn't lean on just his accolades. From day one, he's been building bridges, talking to players, listening, leading, even sharing wisdom about how he sees the game. And here's the part that blew me away. Rodgers dropped a Ted Lasso quote, "Be curious, not judgmental." That's how he explained why he spends so much time stretching with different teammates, learning about them, connecting with them. That's next-level leadership. That's culture building. That's how you turn a locker room into a brotherhood. Now, Steelers fans, let's not sugarcoat it. We're hungry. We've been waiting since 2016 for a playoff win. 8 long years. This franchise has tradition, rings, and history dripping out of every corner of Acrisure Stadium. But what's been missing is that spark. Rodgers, paired with DK Metcalf, paired with a young and hungry roster, could be that spark. But before we all ride off into Super Bowl fantasies, let's talk about the other side of the story, the defense. Because while Rodgers and the offense get the headlines, this is still Pittsburgh. Defense is who we are. And right now, all eyes are on Cam Hayward. Tomlin says he expects Hayward to play against the Jets, but Hayward himself hasn't been so sure. On his own podcast, when asked if he'd play, he said, "We'll see." That doesn't sound like a man locked in for Week 1. Why? Because there's a contract dispute brewing. Cam Hayward, the heart and soul of this defense, believes he deserves to be paid like one of the top defensive linemen in the NFL. And you know what? He's right. Another Pro Bowl, years of dominance, leadership, toughness, he's earned it. The Steelers, though, are playing hardball. And that's the reality of the NFL. Let me tell you, Steelers Nation, this isn't just some minor storyline. This is huge. If Hayward doesn't play, if he sits out or isn't fully committed, that's a blow. Especially because rookie Derek Harmon, who looked like he could be a rotational piece this year, is already out with an MCL sprain. Depth is tested, pressure is mounting, and Week 1 isn't just any game. It's against the New York Jets. And oh boy, is this juicy. Rodgers versus his former team. The same field, MetLife Stadium, where he tore his Achilles 2 years ago. The same franchise that bet on him, built hype around him, and then watched the season collapse after just 4 plays. Do you think he hasn't thought about that moment every single day? And on the other sideline, Justin Fields, the young QB who had a winning record in Pittsburgh, who filled in when Russell Wilson went down and then was benched, let go, and pushed aside without much of a plan. Fields now has the Jets, and he's got every reason to want a revenge. So here we are. Week 1, MetLife Stadium, Rodgers versus Fields, Steelers versus Jets. It's not just a game. It's a battle of legacies, pride, and redemption. Now, let's zoom out a little bit. Steelers fans, we know what this season means. We've got Rodgers for what could be his final chapter. We've got DK Metcalf finally giving us a true We Are One. We've got a young and hungry core hungry to prove themselves. And we've got Tomlin, the man who has never had a losing season, steering the ship. But the question is, will this be enough? Will the offensive line hold up? Will Cam Hayward be on the field when it matters? Will Rodgers stay healthy and deliver one last masterpiece? This, my friends, is where you come in. What do you think? Is this the year Pittsburgh finally gets over the playoff hump? Do you believe Rodgers can deliver a playoff win and cement his legacy in black and gold? Or are you more worried about the defense and the uncertainty around Hayward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you bleed black and gold, and hit subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Because trust me, this season is going to be one for the history books. This is Steelers Nation Wire, and we're just getting started.